Good evening, Bahamas. On the broadcast tonight, a fire hits one of the country's most historic churches. Plus, the rector of a notable over-the-hill church calls on other church leaders to do more. And find out the top quote of the week.
Our news is brought to you by Alive, the nation's newest and best LTE network.
Good to be alive.
Welcome to our news, the weekend edition, and thanks for joining us. I'm Andrew Knowles. Topping news. Fire services battled another fire last night, this time at historic St. Matthew's Anglican Church on Shirley Street. 2 units were dispatched to the scene after it was reported that a portion of the church was on fire last night after 9. Damage was sustained to the belfry area and one of the stained glass windows was destroyed. Fortunately, there was no other damage and services were held as usual this morning. Now, Fire Services Chief Assistant Commissioner Walter Evans says an investigation is ongoing to determine just how the fire started. In other news, with the beginning of phases of the Prime Minister's over-the-hill rejuvenation project set to get started in 2018, a rector of one of the most notable churches over the hill is calling for church leaders to play their part in uplifting those communities. Our Jared Higgs tells us that Father Ranfully Brown doesn't want giving to be exclusive to the Christmas season.
Rector of St. Agnes Anglican Church, Father Ranfully Brown, says there's somewhat of a lull in the inner city as those communities get prepared for Christmas. High crime and unemployment have plagued areas like Bain and Grantstown, but Brown says the pain is shared.
Our community is sort of quiet right now, and I think whatever problems we have, it goes around, from community to community.
While the Prime Minister's Over-the-Hill Rejuvenation Project seeks to add an element of government assistance to the revitalization of the inner city, Father Brown contends that the greater responsibility lies at the feet of the church leaders.
Basically, I feel that the church ought to be a little more responsible with crime. I always tell them that political parties don't have children, only church people. And so we have a great responsibility to our community to ensure that our children are brought up in the right way and that we have the kind of examples that we ought to have so that they can follow some model in their lives.
Brown says growing up, his peers had more to aspire to.
I remember when I was younger, a few years ago, we used to look at persons and say, I want to be like him or I want to be like her. And I think that takes us back to the fact that we need models around our communities to cause our children to look up to them. And this time is a time when the church is challenged as to what is it doing other than following tradition and not causing what it ought to be doing to become alive in the lives of our people and in our community.
The St. Agnes rector says the Christmas season involves lots of giving, but he recognizes that many people have needs throughout the year.
Giving away all these free food and in some communities it may be necessary, but what happens the rest of the year? What are we doing in our communities the rest of the year? And I would like to challenge everyone to cause ourselves to be involved in the lives of people throughout the year, and not find ourselves focusing who can give the most turkey and who can give the most ham. And be to our people an involved organization, an involved community, so that we can bring forth some new characters in our community.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jared Higgs.
All right, thanks, Jared. Well, Bahamas Faith Ministries International Senior Pastor David Burrows said he is deeply concerned about the future of the country. As we prepare to enter 2018, Burrows said he sees the Bahamas on a downward trajectory with no clear sight of a turnaround. Kyle Joaquin tells us more.
The level of violence, the level of, societal chaos, debauchery, the values of the country are not trending in the right direction, and that's a concern for me.
However, he said to fix these issues, it will take an effort by everyone. Burrows says he realizes he has one voice, but he's trying to do his best with it.
I have given my life to try to enhance the the welfare of Bahamians, particularly young people in the past, but all Bahamians. And I'll continue to do so. And I'll continue to work with the government, work with the opposition, work with social leaders, business leaders, everyone, to try to bring about a resolution to our current situation.
He pointed to mentorship and the need for more people to take someone under their wing.
I have seen positive results from things that we've been doing. For example, this past year we launched a program called Second Chance. And Second Chance is directed at young people who've had a difficult first go at it. So young people who've come from challenged environments. And one of our young people, well, he's not young anymore, but who grew up here as a young person, landlord, is spearheading that program, and we've seen tremendous results. We've seen, lives turned around.
Burroughs noted that government is usually to blame when things go wrong, but he feels the solution to a lot of the country's social ills lies in homes, churches, and communities.
Persons like landlord, persons like myself, other persons who have personally experienced a personal turnaround, it encourages us to continue the work because we realize that change is possible and improvement is possible, but more people have to be involved in the solution aspect of it.
Reporting for RN News, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
And we'll take our first break here, but still ahead tonight, the Chamber of Commerce gives government a pat on the back on its tendering process. That story and more when our news returns.